Hey guys, this is Comic Ken, and I'm going to show you something that once you see it, you will not be able to unsee it. It's been right in front of your face the whole time, but once I show you, you'll be like, I can't believe I didn't think of this before. Here we go. Dragon Ball and Peanuts are in the same art family. And if you don't believe me, just look at their eyes. Their eyes are in the same art family. Maybe there's more details around the hands and whatnot, but it's the eyes that tell you everything you need to see. So let me show you. Let me see if I can give you some examples here. Like, maybe their eyes are not colored in, but if it was in black and white, which this is how both stories originated, you wouldn't be able to tell. So let's look at Dragon Ball. Let's get some examples here. Looking at Dragon Ball, like Krillin is the most obvious example of this is a character that could just be in Peanuts, like Charlie Brown. Like, here we go. It's so obvious they're in the same drawing family, like the same simplicity, the same class of simplicity. Like, because this is done in color, they're actually putting white in his eyes so it separates it out a little bit. But if we look at the black and white, you can see his eyes are just the same as Charlie Brown's. They just use dots to represent the eyes, and they use some exaggerations to communicate their emotions. But it's all in the same class of art, the same class of drawing. This is not a new discovery. I've posted about this before, but I thought I'd make it just obvious to you guys in a video. Like, they are in the same art direction. It's just one is more detailed than the other, and one is more action oriented, geared towards action. And that's why I always believe you didn't have to learn anatomy so extensively. You didn't have to draw the most realistic way to tell a good story, because Peanuts and Dragon Ball are both so popular. They were extremely popular for their time, and they're still popular to this day, where their art style is just a cartoon, and it's not the most realistic, it's not the most consistently drawn, and yet they're both the most popular comic strips of their time. And the main reason why this works is because of this style pyramid that you'll find in Understanding Comics by Scott Mccloud. Basically, on this side of the spectrum, there's realism, and as you go up, it gets more and more abstract. Like, you're abstracting from realism to the point where you just get to basic shapes, and nothing makes sense. It's completely abstract. And then the further you go down, the more realistic it becomes. The more shapes you're adding to your language to get things across. If we look over here, boom, we find Charlie Brown. Dragon Ball would be in the same area, but it wasn't cataloged in this book here. But yeah, it would be around the same area. It's not so simplified to where it's just like a stick figure. This would be, well, this is like bone right here, but this would be more like let's say Cyanide and Happiness cartoons, or just like stick figures and stuff like that. Whereas you got Charlie Brown here, and Goku would be right next to him, or Krillin would be right next to him. They're all in that same family of cartoons and comic strips. And if this side is reality, the more we go over to this side, what do we find? Meaning. And what that means is the art is using less lines to give you something, give you a story that means more than one for one replicating reality. The lines are meant to abstract, or it's meant to simplify reality so that it can give you meaning in a much quicker way. Like, let's see, when, for example, if we have, during this battle here, we get this really cartoonish expression on Vegeta's face, but that's to show how strongly he was affected by this slash across his back. It doesn't have the most realistic lines. It doesn't look like a realistic picture, but it's the cartooniness, the exaggeration of the expression is what gives you the meaning that the author wants to convey to you. Like, you understand by this expression, like, that hurt. And you understand by these little lines here. You don't see those in real life. You don't see these little dotted lines in real life, but that shows that he's shaking. It shows that he felt something. You don't see any of these in real life. If this was a realistic comic book, you wouldn't see much of these lines at all, because you don't see that in real life. If this was a photo, it would just be a body falling to the ground with no lines at all. But those lines carry meaning. They carry the meaning of, I'm shaking, I'm hurt, I'm damaged, I'm falling to the ground. Just like these lines, you don't see it in on a human body, but these lines represent scratches. These lines represent veins on the forehead from feeling pain or great stress. And then these lines right here, these sweat drops coming off of his head, or what you can call pluds or pludes or whatever. They're coming off his head, and it shows that he's nervous, despite his smile. Like, he's nervous because this guy is down, but he could get up at any point. So having lines like that, like showing that he's nervous, like having lines like that gives meaning to what's happening. It shows, it conveys action and movement. Like, you see that he hit this rock, he bounced again, and then he rolled over there. Like, all of these things lend to conveying a sense of action and movement. While, like, he flies into a rock and then he's down for the count. Like, all of these things are meant to give the meaning of movement and battle and action with all these informational lines, instead of trying to replicate what this would look like realistically. If this Dragon Ball was drawn 100% realistically all the way through, it would never make it past the first arc in Dragon Ball. Like, it would never go that far. But because it was on a weekly deadline, and Peanuts was on a daily deadline of a comic strip has to be drawn every single day, and this was a comic strip had to be a whole chapter had to be drawn every single week. They had to simplify their lines so that they would have more meaning per line, rather than trying to one-for-one replicate reality, like a photo. So yeah, this was just an interesting observation I wanted to show you guys as to how Dragon Ball and Peanuts are basically in the same drawing family, and why that is important to the craft of making comics. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.